Welcome to this week's episode of DCTV's new film review show, Back to the Feature. On the show today, we'll be reviewing DreamWorks' latest animated feature, The Rise of the Guardians. Clint Eastwood returns to the big screen for his latest final role in Trouble with the Curve. We have an interview with stuntman Paul Thompson. We have the film calendar, plus we have the world premiere of the trailer for the horror film Dead Tidy. So sit back, relax, and let us take you back to the feature. First up this week is DreamWorks' latest animated picture, The Rise of the Guardians. I'm joined in the studio by Eric Gaffney, and new to the studio is Tara Murphy. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you.
Rise of the Guardians. Eric, we'll start with you.
Yeah, cool.
We go by many names and take many forms. We bring wonder and hope. We bring joy and dreams. We are the Sandman and the Tooth Fairy. We are the Easter Bunny and Santa. And our powers are greater than you ever imagined. It is our job to protect the children of the world.
It was different. I mean, you had this like sword-wielding Santa speaking in his broken English, you know? You seem to drop the word "the" an awful lot, I found, which I thought was actually hilarious. Naughty and nice tattoos, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't get the whole where Jack Frost was fitting in with the rest of the characters. You had Santa Claus, you had
Sandman.
the Sandman, Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and then next thing Jack Frost. It just didn't seem to fit in with them at all. I thought it was a bit strange.
He was the one that people didn't know about as well, though. So they kind of
introduced
that idea. People didn't believe in Jack Frost.
Yeah, but the kids didn't believe in him, so he was kind of fighting his way through the whole film to try and make kids believe in him.
I mean, what's this clown know about bringing joy to children, anyway?
You ever hear of a snow day? I know it's no hard-boiled egg, but kids like what I do.
But none of them believe in you, do they?
Bunny, enough.
Hugh Jackman as an Australian Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
What do we think of that?
I thought it was a horrible character. I really did. I thought that rabbit was horrible. He didn't even look cute at all.
Until...
Do you know what I mean? Until we don't want to ruin anything, but he was gorgeous then. But I mean,
the fact that he was Australian, Terry, you didn't mind that at all?
No, I didn't mind it. And I know there's this big problem about them bunnies not being indigenous to Australia. But you have to remember, this is a 6-foot bunny rabbit who can speak and travels around the world delivering Easter eggs. Yeah, your last problem is going to be the fact that he might not technically be Australian. I'm more concerned about the fact that he's 6 foot tall. That worries me more.
And
you
that
know?
he's talking.
Yeah.
And that he's very, very angry.
Yeah, all the time.
The kangaroo's right.
The what? What did you call me? I'm not a kangaroo, mate.
If you're not a kangaroo, what are you?
I'm a bunny. The Easter Bunny.
I thought Chris Pine as Jack Frost, who looked about 12 years of age and then had the voice of a grown man throughout, was a bit peculiar, wasn't it? Though it didn't really gel with the character that we see. Like, when you're introduced to Jack, he's happy-go-lucky, he's skipping around, he's like a boy.
Yeah.
And then you hear, hey, I'm Jack Frost. So maybe that's for the film we're on later on. That's the Clint Eastwood, sorry. But Tara, what did you think? Anyway,
well, I think you're right with the Jack Frost part. I mean, it's almost like a Peter Pan character. He is kind of still a boy, and he has this like broken voice, and you're sort of like the two don't really go together.
It's a bit creepy.
It was a bit off-putting. It was a bit wrong footing for the start, especially. But actually, speaking of the start, it was absolutely gorgeous, that opening scene. The animation is flawless, and it was lovely in 3D, but you wouldn't be missing much if you only went to see it in 2D either.
The same criticism that I have of most films that you see in 3D is that they seem to really think about the 3D for the opening sequence, and we had the snowflakes fall down, you're kind of like, oh, snowflakes, and you could hear the kids. Because the screen that we went to was full of kids, and that was, in all fairness, the kids loved it.
Yeah.
But you know, they had the snowflakes, and the 3D sequence at the start was gorgeous. But
really
then they kind
prominent
of, real prominent, they kind of, they forgot about
20 minutes in, I think.
Yeah, it's just trying to pull you into this world.
Yeah.
First off,
Yeah.
like.
And then you're in there, and that's it.
Yeah.
The bar now in recent years has been set so high with what Pixar have done, say the likes of Toy Story 3, where they have all the references for the adults and stuff like that. Did you know you can take a lot from it as an adult? This, not so much. It was very much aimed, I thought, at the kids.
Yeah.
And seeing it in a film, in a cinema full of kids was great, because when the things happened in the film,
The
like the
ooze,
gas
and
and the
the
ooze, and
gas.
the kids
Yeah.
did laugh. Like they did. The kids, you could tell that the kids really enjoyed it. But young kids, I would say,
They get so caught up in the look of it, they kind of forget about perhaps the story a little bit in the
This is it,
script.
yeah.
There were a few kind of very clunky, cheesy sort of lines where you're just kind of sitting there going, you know, that could have done without that particular statement or whatever.
it's not really a film that's based on Christmas, while it does feature Santa Claus as a
They kind of
guardian.
mumbled jumbled up a few things there, didn't they?
It's hard to know what time
It was
of
more
the year
of
it
an
is.
Easter film.
Yeah.
Well, it could have really been released any time of year, but Easter does pass during it. Which, again, I actually thought was a nice, interesting thing, because the focus is always on Christmas for kids' movies. No one ever mentions the poor Easter bunny. He never gets a look in. So this is his time to
Well,
shine.
after seeing this film, we know why.
Something's up.
I suppose maybe some of the cultural references are a little bit obscure to us. Like Ireland isn't. We don't do the painting of eggs.
I don't think the parents bothered their butts with the Easter Bunny thing.
Yeah, well, even the
over here,
Sandman
you know.
isn't a very high-profile character
Sandman,
here, really.
Yeah, that's another one.
He
yeah,
was
the
great, though.
Sandman.
I loved him. He was so cute. If you go see it for anything, go see it for the Sandman. He's adorable.
Yeah. Not to mention Pitch Black.
Yeah.
The baddie.
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
There was a
Yeah.
scene he was in, actually, that reminded me a little bit of David Bowie in Labyrinth, where he kept kind of appearing underneath, and then he was over here, and then he was over there within the Tooth Fairy's castle, or whatever it was, and that was the one thing I thought of. But you can sympathise with him as well, because he wants to be believed in just as Jack does. It's just maybe he's going about it the wrong way,
Yeah.
you know?
I
He
saw him as the underdog.
Yeah, exactly.
You were rooting for the bad guy in this
Pitch
one.
Black, yeah.
This isn't your fight, Jack.
You made it my fight when you... Now this is who I'm looking for.
Harry, your marks out of 10 for The Rise of the Guardians.
I'll give it a solid 6, I think.
Solid 6.
Yeah.
And is it recommended to anybody with?
Yeah, kids.
Kids.
Anyone on 10 and under,
Yeah.
go see it. Like, yeah.
Eric?
Yeah, I'll go with her. I'll go with a 6 for the kids.
Yeah.
Not for me, you know. But yeah, definitely kids under 10 years of age, they'll love it. They will. They'll love it. You know.
You could hear that the kids enjoyed it, and that's as far as the audience goes. That's all they want really from the film. As an adult, I was a little bit bored with it. I found it a little bit clunky at times, but then it did look gorgeous. And that opening sequence of Jack Frost skating around the pond and the making the ice crystals and all, that was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Lovely. Really well done.
Gorgeous. So a 6 out of 10. So that's The Rise of the Guardians, and all agreeing on 6 out of 10.
My name is Brendan Compton. I'm a member of Stunkill Ireland, and I run a precision driving school here in Arklow.
So just tell us a little bit about what we were doing there.
Well, basically what we're doing is we're just demonstrating some techniques about car control, and basically how to manoeuvre a car in and out of different obstacles, keeping the car under control at all times. And then we were doing what we call a box park, which on film sets is sliding in between two parked cars. And then we do kind of reverse 180s, which you see like in a lot of the car chases. And then you do 360, which is like a real kind of die-hard move where you spin around, you can shoot the cars in front of you, then spin back off and they're off again.
And have you worked on many feature films?
Yeah, I've worked on a lot of films. I mean, all over Europe, but a lot of the Irish films, most of the Irish films I've worked on. Intermissions, I feel a double Colin Farrell doing a lot of car chases and intermission, and a lot of stuff in Spain and abroad in Morocco stuff as well. Okay, so do as fast as you can.
Take the piss out of me now.
That's as fast as you can do.
Let's make a mock video of Eric.
This is some camera work back here.
Sorry about that.
Alright.
Is that cone dead?
How many cameramen have you killed?
And Paul, yourself?
So I'm Paul Thompson, I'm part of Stunt Guild Ireland. I'm a stunt performer with Stunt Guild. I got into stunts about 16 years ago. A friend of mine, Martin Grace, he was a 5 times James Bond stunt double. He invited me into the stunt game. Through that I met the Conjuring brothers and the father. Started off doing stunts with them. Worked on such films as same as Brendan, Intermission, The Boxer, and numerous other films that's been made all around Ireland. The last couple of years we've been working on The Tudors, Camelot,
Vikings at the moment.
We just wrapped Vikings last Friday, yeah. We went to Belfast, we worked up in that department on Your Highness up there, which was a great film to work on.
So tell me a little bit about the idea for the Stunt Guild then.
Well, basically, like I've been working in the industry for the last 20 years, over 20 years, and I was working with some other guys because there was never a core group in this country. Like, there was always kind of people doing their own thing and like freelance stunt guys. So a few of us came together and came up with the idea of setting up a strong group in the country. So we decided to set up Stunt Guild Ireland, and basically it's been set up now nearly 4 years, and nearly all the performers and coordinators are part of Stunt Guild Ireland now in Ireland. So it basically creates a structure for all the new up-and-coming guys as well, which is followed by the UK and all European recognised qualifications. So to be a stunt performer, you need to kind of come up the ranks, get your qualifications, and then apply to the guild and basically get certified.
Ask you, Paul, you said, what's the process like of training to be a stuntman and getting these qualifications? Is it a tough process?
Well, as I said, you need the more qualifications you have, the more work you get. Look, if you're basically just doing driving, you'll only get driving work. You have to practice. We practice doing gymnastics, we practice doing high falls, we come out here, we practice doing our driving. We go to various different boxing clubs, we teach on stunt fighting, we do sword fighting. So the more work, or the more qualifications you have, the more work you will get on the film.
And where do you go to learn sword fighting or to learn high falls, or what's the process?
Well, basically what we have in the Stunt Guild, we have a series of different stunt performers and stunt coordinators that are qualified. We have some qualified horse masters, sword masters, as Brendan just showed you there, stunt drivers. So we teach each other. You know, I'll bring lads down from my boxing club, I'll teach them a bit of boxing. So when fight scenes come up, the lads know how to throw a punch, how to receive a punch, how to react from a punch, and basically carry on from there. Same we have with the lads, as we said, sword masters. We get together weekends and teach each other sword fighting.
What is it like when you tell people? What's the reaction from people like when you tell them you're a stuntman? Is it the coolest job in the world?
Well, I think it's probably the worst chat-up line you could ever use. People don't believe you. Like, they think you're just bullshitting them, really. Like, but
I tend not to use it myself. I try not to bring it up. It's only other people who say, "Yes, Paul's a stuntman." I say, "You're a stuntman." I say, "You're not a stuntman." I say to people, "What does a stuntman look like?" Because people think stuntman is just a big American muscle fella or whatever, you know what I mean? You look at all the actors out there, the stunt people for all them actors. No matter what you're big, small, Chinese, coloured, whatever. The stunt people for everyone, you know what I mean? Stunt doubles for everyone.
Holy shit! Fucking hell, man.
A series of unexplained murders found in spotless crime scenes. A renegade cop works alone in a world of dirt. To stop a killer who likes things clean. A beautiful young woman whose life is a mess has become the target of a murderous obsession.
Why won't anyone believe me?
I believe you.
I love you, Jake!
God damn it! I want your gun and I want your badge, Jake!
This spring, a killer is cleaning house. 3-time Academy Award winner Marty Murdoch.
I thought I could trust you, Captain! This goes all the way to the top, Jake! 24 hours, that's all I need! I can bring this guy in!
Charles C. Cash.
24 hours. Don't screw this up.
With Stevie Silver. And introducing Penelope Gunn. Have you cleaned your house?
Show your face, you sick freak.
You might find yourself.
Is your room tidy? Then you're dead!
The tidy.
Gus Lobel's one of the best scouts baseball's ever seen. The guy that signed Dusty Baker, Dale Murphy, Tom Glavine.
Gus Lobel.
Well, what are you fellas staring at? I'm not a pole dancer.
Welcome to the partnership committee.
I want this.
You'd be the only woman.
My father is a baseball scout. I grew up around men who swore, drank, and farted.
Get me a damn check.
Trust me, I can handle it. You need to meet with a specialist. How are you going to scout this guy if your eyes aren't right?
I don't need your help. I don't know why you just don't go home.
Because I feel this dysfunctional sense of responsibility to make sure that you're okay.
Clint Eastwood's back in trouble with The Curve, directed by first-time director Robert Lorenz, a frequent collaborator on El Paso films and has been his AD for a long period. Eric, it was like a film directed by a first-timer and a first-time screenwriter as well, I thought.
Yeah, pretty poor.
You didn't like it, huh?
Don't start me off, Mike.
Right.
It was one of those cliched films I've ever seen in my life, and I'm frankly disgusted with Mr. Eastwood on this one. It was awful. It's just...
I wondered, it almost feels like he's just involved himself in this as a favour, isn't it?
It does, because as you said, it is a guy who's been his assistant director for a long time. It's his first film. But it was a real by the numbers, and you know the trouble with it was so cliched.
There's no way Clint Eastwood read that script and said, "Awesome, I'm in." You know, he
I thought you were just going to leave it at that. There's no way Clint Eastwood read that script.
You ever think about retirement?
What's this all about?
There's just a lot of pressure right now. Philip has Vince's ear, pumping him full of ideas, telling him we need new blood.
The Clint Eastwood character, which I love, it works so badly if it's not done right, if the script isn't right.
He's played that character over and over.
But it's a great
Yeah,
character.
but I
isn't
mean,
it? That's his character he is in every single
yeah,
movie
yeah.
he's in.
I don't need your pointy little nose in my business.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
He
he's
was the
done it a
gruff-
few times now.
He's the gruff, aging, aging dude, and he doesn't have much patience or anything like this,
No.
and he certainly doesn't in
But
this film.
in this film, he's playing the gruff aging dude who doesn't have any patience.
I was waiting, how's he going to put a twist on this? Oh, no. Yeah.
Well, they didn't.
Well, in all fairness, you would say, as they say, in review circles, that he dialed in that performance. There was nobody. He had nothing to work with. Like usually, he has that gruff delivery, and they give him great lines.
I did what I thought was right. I just didn't want you to have life in the cheap seats,
They
that's
were the
all.
cheap seats.
The script was just awful.
But
Like,
I'll tell you, the
with
trouble
stuff
with the
like,
curve.
with all due respect.
Yeah, like the baddies as well, and there were baddies.
Oh, Matthew
there
Lillard.
was, and the other guy in
was evil.
Amy Adams' office as well. The two of them were
Yeah,
racing for
something
the
like that, wasn't
partnership.
it?
I can't remember his name, but they were baddies, and they were
Yeah,
introduced
yeah. They
as
were.
that straight away. Mike, the end. Can we talk about, like, as we would say, the
Well, like,
final
I think we've kind
innings,
of
to use baseball
we've
terminology?
sort of skipped over like the plot, but I think the thing is that there's just nothing to say about the plot. Is
Justin
there?
Timberlake taking off his top,
Yeah.
jumping into a lake.
Coming in?
You are crazy.
Like Amy Adams, she's
Yeah,
a good
she's good
actress.
as she can
has
hold her
yeah.
part
She's
there.
great.
No
I feel
doubt
bad
about
for her because she obviously saw Clint Eastwood's attached to this.
it. Yeah.
Great, I'm in.
Another one that didn't read the script.
Yeah.
Why won't someone read the fucking script?
You think you're pretty smart, don't you?
Me?
Yeah,
No.
you.
What? What? Is that a good thing? You like smart?
Well, you gotta have it here and here.
Here and here.
Yes, here and here.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much what you're looking for then.
He's a crap actor.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, he's actually quite good. No, he's a good enough actor for someone who's not an actor. But
Yeah.
like, why not just put in somebody who is an actor?
Who is an actor? And the scenes, though, the scenes that he was in, where he's doing this performance of commentaries, and then people stand up and applaud in the bar, and it's going.
That was awful. Remember that? That was.
It was hard to.
terrible,
It was hard to watch.
Which terrible scene was this? There's so many.
Yeah.
Way back, this baby's got a chance. It's gone. Home run. Bernie Carbo has just tied the game. Bernie Carbo has just tied the game.
So many of the plot points are so obvious from so far away. Like, you see this character, you know he's going to be the baddie. You know he's going to get his comeuppance, though, in the end.
The guy,
It happens.
the guy throwing the peanuts. You know, and he throws the peanuts like, oh, this guy's got a throw.
He's got an arm.
I wonder if this is going to come back into the movie later on.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it did.
I forgot about the guy.
I
forgot about him anyway.
I've never seen a film to wrap up every plot line so perfectly and with such a nice ending for them all. It was it was ridiculous.
Yeah, at the end.
The last 20 minutes of the film where they just one after the other wrap up the plot points in sequence.
It was written by Hyacinth or something.
And they even did a...
Mr. Burns' monkeys and the typewriters.
You're still single, aren't you?
Maybe you're emotionally unavailable.
Who are you, Dr. Phil?
Hey, that is quality television.
Yeah.
I just don't know where you're going to find marks to give this movie. I thought it was awful from start to finish. I love Clint Eastwood, but even him being in it, I don't think brought anything to it. I think you've just taken a little bit away from Clint by having him in it. That his next movie, if he does do another movie where he's playing that same character again, that's going to be in the back of my head, and I'm a little bit annoyed.
He's like Clint there. He's like a young Clint.
I'm going to give it...
Sorry, yeah.
Finish it off.
Yeah.
1?
1 out of 10. Really?
Oh, what am I going to give him marks for? Amy Adams.
1 mark.
1 mark for her, 1 for Goodman. 2.
1 for Clint. Come on. For his legacy.
No.
This could be very well his last film.
But this is, I mean...
Okay, 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Eric?
0. I can't. It's awful. It's just really bad. I'm not going to points for anything.
I believe you made me give it points, and you were going to give it 0.
This is called bullying.
I wanted to go back and do mine again.
They're all old enough to know better. They're all experienced enough to know better, and there's no excuse whatsoever, is there,
No, nothing.
Like, you know what I mean? There's no excuse for why a film like with people of that stature should be so bad. So, zip.
All right, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 10. I don't know. Clint Eastwood is one of my favorite actors. It's a stain on his legacy. This film, I find, really, it's the worst. It's the worst Clint Eastwood film I think I've seen. And I've seen him in episodes of Bonanza and all. Do you know what I mean? Where he was called Woody and he was chipper.
Is this you justifying your 4 out of 10?
Well, sorry, I'm giving 4 out of 10. Amy Adams is likeable in it. Amy Adams is likeable in it.
That is a generous...
Clint Eastwood in it. John Goodman is in it. Robert Patrick is in it. Good cast. There's some nice location stuff. Okay, so that's it for Trouble with the Curve. Trouble with the script, trouble with the performances. And as they say in baseball, a curveball is the one that's hard to see. This wasn't. It was very poor. This week's film from the Film Archive is Jaws, Steven Spielberg's 1975 classic thriller. Eric, I know it's one of your all-time favourite films.
Absolutely. One of the best films ever made, if you ask me.
And some people surprisingly haven't seen it, so...
Oh, some, yeah.
Who are these fools?
I don't know who they are. Yeah. I could name a name or two.
Perfect use of suspense. Maybe the greatest film and most recognisable film soundtrack of all time.
Absolutely. It's quite gritty, like.
Yeah,
you know,
but it doesn't. It's not
lovely,
overly,
gritty 70s look.
Yeah. It's not overly gory or anything. The 3 main characters played by
Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss,
Roy Schneider,
and Roy Schneider. I was going to call him Rob Schneider. different level of acting altogether. But Roy Schneider,
great dynamic between the 3.
It
seemed like in the making that Dreyfuss and Shaw hated each other. Well, not that they hated each other, but Shaw hated Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
Dreyfuss was new on the scene, upcoming actor, kind of like method actor, I think, and Shaw was real old school, hard drinking, and you know,
that comes across, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Shaw's
really does.
He's a bit of a caricature, but he plays it so well.
Brilliant. And the old speech.
And can't beat it.
Fantastic. Talking about the Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I don't think they like, regarding films of that nature, that they've ever hit characters like that again, that are so gripping and so realistic and believable and likable at the same time.
But this is what he said. If you go into horror films, or you could nearly, because I've seen Jaws has become in film rating terms, you know, it's up there in the list of the top horrors of all time. It goes into the top 4 or 5 films.
And top action adventure. And
for creating characters that you actually wanted to survive or you cared about it. There's never it's never been equal, has it?
Yeah, no, I don't
not
think
in horror anyway.
No, I don't. Yeah, but I mean, regarding any kind of films like that, you know, where when nature strikes back or something, you know, like Jurassic Park didn't have it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not to the extent of Jaws.
Shots in this were real great white shark intermixed with the animatronic great white shark, which was terrifying. Like, you look in that animatronic eye, and it's darkness.
Yeah. Dead eyes.
You know what I mean? But it is, if you see the great whites in any of the natural history programs or anything, it's an amazing construction. And it's gripping as well. You know what I mean? As you said, you don't see the shark.
Yeah.
The full shark until quite late in the film.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and when you do, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
This is one that you can pick up for €6 or €7 at the moment with the second disc, which has a brilliant documentary.
Yeah, over 2 hours of documentary footage on it.
I've seen it. It's a movie in itself.
Yeah, and it's brilliant.
It's like the suspense, and it's almost like a thriller.
Yeah. It's just as gripping as the film itself. It was really well worth dishing out a few euros for.
It might be slightly pointless, but marks out of 10 for Jaws.
You can't fault Jaws. Like, I don't think you have to. Just give it 10 out of 10.
I'm going to give it 7. 10 out of 10. And you never get fed up looking at it. It's like Goodfellas in that respect.
Yeah.
That, you know, you walk in and the Goodfellas starts, you just get glued to it. Same with Jaws.
Yeah.
Just, you know, you get
and even if it's half an hour in.
Yeah, whatever,
and it's on RTE and it's got like the the ads and stuff. They sit through the ads.
Still sit through the whole
like,
fucking
why
thing
not?
anyway.
I'll wrap it up as well and say 10 out of 10 from myself as well. You can't, it's the greatest film of its type, the greatest suspense, the greatest thriller, one of the best horror films ever made, all kind of rolled into the one package. And then great characters, great story, and it's just gripping. Jaws for us, 10 out of 10. Anybody who hasn't seen it, we highly recommend it. So yeah, go out and get it. And as I said, the extras on this DVD, well worth the price alone. So pick it up. In the film calendar this week, starting on the 5th and 6th of December in the Lighthouse Cinema, we have the Gaze Film Festival, a film festival for the LGBT community. Screenings are The Perfect Family, Veto, Keep the Lights On and Wish Me Away. Tickets cost €10, 8 with a concession, or a season ticket for the whole event is €35. The Cult Film Club Dublin hosts screenings of our favourite cult classics. Log on to cultfilmclub.ie for a chance to win tickets for a screening in a secret location. That's it for this week's film calendar. If you've news of any film related events that you'd like mentioned on the show, please send them into our email, details of which will appear at the end of the programme. Don't forget, you can contact us here at Back to the Feature with any film news or events you'd like mentioned on the show. And for any aspiring filmmakers, remember you can send your short films to us via a web link or on the on-screen address. See you next time on Back to the Feature.